the 2K Sports pregame show.
Hello, basketball fans. I'm Ernie Johnson, welcoming you to 2K Sports. I'm here with Kenny the Jet Smith and Shaquille O'Neal. The fans are filling the seats out in Boston, the site of our broadcast, and where the Celtics will be going up against the Philadelphia 76ers. For Philadelphia, playing above 500 in the last few weeks, not bad. They'd like to do better. We'll see if they can add a win tonight. This team has so many weapons late in games, but perhaps the biggest of them all is Kyrie Irving. Shaq, do you view Kyrie as the most clutch player in the NBA right now?
I wouldn't say the most clutch, Ernie, but his biggest shot was his three in the 2016 finals. I think it cemented him as one of the most clutch players we have, but not the most.
Not the most, but it's too early in his career, but he is clutch. You give him the ball, he makes things happen. And not only with his shot making, Ernie, his passing ability at now is increased. So he makes great passes and clutch shots.
The game is about ready to tip off. Let's send you to Kevin Harlan for the call.
We are live from Boston for an Eastern Conference contest with the Celtics. Welcome, everybody. Glad you decided to spend your Thursday night with us here at 2K Sports. I'm Kevin Harlan alongside Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Alders is our sideline reporter. And also joining us on the sidelines, the league's most valuable player in 2004, Kevin Garnett. KG, it is great to have you with us.
Okay, how you been, man? It's good to see you,
Waiting for you to sit right here next to us. That's what I've been waiting for.
Man, thank you for having me, man. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Can't wait to get inside your impressions of this game. It'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, Mike Muscala. This is his first game in his new Philadelphia 76ers uniform.
Man, that trade is something that has just electrified this entire fan base, the players, the people working for the organization. They think it may be that piece of the puzzle necessary to finally get this team over the hump.
Now a look at Philadelphia's starting lineup. They've got Saric. Ben Simmons is out there with Fultz. Then it's Robert Covington, and it's Embiid in at the 5. And it's Brown missing. Saric with it, picked up by Brown. Embiid. And Horford pulls it down. Now Irving. He kicks it to Horford. Hayward dishes to Brown. Back to Hayward. Shoots over Covington. And no good. Trying to use the glass. On defense, the Celtics. Al Horford, a player who doesn't dominate any one category as a big man, but KG he has very few weaknesses. He's fundamentally sound.
He's very effective, man. Al Horford knows what he is. He's very solid with what he does, sets great picks. He's able to create space between him and his defender.
if you watch him, he's gotten better with his shot. He's gotten better with his three-point shot. He's able to shoot it at rapid style now. Being in Atlanta, being in a kind of a system where he was able to play kind of 4 guys, 1 in, and he would be more perimeter. He's really developed a perimeter shot now. It's really helped him. Now he's able to put the ball on the floor with a shot fake and go to the basket, make, other passes to guys, really help that whole system up there. Boston is a threat, but without Al Horford's play, his inside play, and his, able to go out and hit threes, they're not the same team without him.
Quality person, too.
Absolutely,
yes.
Man. No better locker room leader. He's one of these guys that, when you talk about men, you want to know that men can stand up and speak like men. He's one of those guys. He's one of those guys that's going to put on the table, and we are going to be in here speaking as men as it should be.
Kevin, growing up watching the game of basketball, who were some of your earliest influences?
My early influences in the game of basketball was Magic Johnson, obviously Michael Jordan, and then Chris Webber. Chris Webber, Malik Sealy was kind of like the younger generation of my inspiration. Yeah. St. John's was one of the destinations. Michigan was one of my college destinations. So those guys were my natural inspirations early on when I was young.
Yeah. And Kevin, there was such a whirlwind around your trade to the Celtics from the Timberwolves. What were your thoughts and emotions at that time?
You know what? Being in Minnesota at the time, it was very difficult for me. I didn't necessarily want to leave. I had a goal to bring the city a championship, and I felt like I could do that. Nothing worse than when you have to deal with the reality of change. I'm not the one for change, even though I do know in order to process or progress better, you have to embrace some change. So with the help of my friends from Chauncey Billups, Teron Lue, I sat and I thought through it with those guys who have been through the trade process and talking to me and getting me to understand my options. And once I understood all my options, then I just, it was about what was best for me and my family.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. Free throw dropped for Al Horford. And Kev, you had a voice in where you'd go from Minnesota. How did all that play out?
I sat with my wife, and we all kind of went through it and thought Boston was the best situation. Paul and I had great bones and great history that I don't think the world really knew. We have been knowing each other since 14, 15. I played with each other younger, and I had a chance to play with Cole, but that really didn't go through. A lot of people don't know I had a chance to play with Steve Nash also, but I wanted to play with Stoudemire, and that wasn't the case. So I decided to go to Boston. Ray and I knew each other from South Carolina. And then, the Rondo piece was a huge piece for me. I had followed the youngster in his first year and just watched his growth a little bit, even though I was in the Western Conference. And then when I got to Boston, I knew they had good pieces like Kendrick Perkins and Tony Allen. I wasn't aware of the big baby piece yet. And then I wasn't sure on the Posey part. And then all of a sudden it started to come together, Eddie House. And then all of this, and
great names.
I mean,
great names.
Just all alphas, all guys able to stand up and speak for themselves and be articulate, and all different facets, and very similar facets of who we are personality-wise. And a lot of people just don't know that team there. I don't think another coach could have coached that team other than Doc Rivers.
Now here's Simmons after Gordon Hayward's miss and stolen by Irving. One-on-one fast break. And he drops in the layup off the glass. Irving's got his first bucket of the night.
Oh, the quick hands of Irving to help create offense for himself on the other end.
And that replay presented by Under Armour, showing us the fantastic steal that led to that fast break finish. Another Unleash Chaos moment. Kevin, what a lot of fans don't get to see is all the work players do behind the scenes at home, before games, after games, on off days. Can you talk a little bit about that? Getting your body ready from the end of one game to play the next game. I mean, I've seen it, but you talk about it.
Yeah, the wellness starts right after you stop playing. The minute you come off the court, you're iced. You got to do progressions where right after the game you shower. Obviously, you got to get massages. You got to get some type of wellness on your legs, just because you're running so much. People don't know that you have to lift weights. When we was in Boston, we lift every other day. We had a strenuous strength program. Shout out to Bidu. Brian Dew, who's our strength coach up there, never let us get a day off. And if you didn't lift weights, then we find you as a players find you. Because it's important for you to come in here and be strong. We need everybody to be as strong as they can be. So you have to lift. And then actually, you practice, but after practice, you have to put time into your own personal game.
Right. So much goes into it. It's amazing. And the rejection by Monroe.
He's fighting it in this quarter. Hasn't been able to get into any sort of groove.
Irving can't get it to go. And there's a whistle that goes against Greg Monroe. That is his first foul of the game. The 76ers trail by 5. Kevin, coming out of high school, you were relatively mature for your age, as 17 turning 18, but do you ever regret not trying college and just seeing what that experience would have been like? I mean, it's such a long time ago, but you've had some chance probably to get some perspective on both sides of that story.
You know what, Kev, I look at it like the unknown is the unknown. Obviously, I've had friends that went to college. Some of my best friends went to college, and I think I've kind of lived it through them a little bit. Listen, when you have responsibility early in life,
which you did,
which I did,
yes,
and so from a mature level, things that interest me are not that interesting as you get older, especially when you have to deal with a vigorous schedule of an NBA schedule. I wasn't able to, be the 17, 18-year-old to chill, have, lean on the parents a little bit, be able to be at home, coming home through the weekends. I had a real life that I was responsible for, and I was growing something. I was building something. I was trying to not just be a young player in our league, but a young businessman wanting to establish something for myself, my friends, my family. You can't do those things thinking like a normal 17, 18-year-old. You're taking pieces from grown men around you all the time. You're around people who need something all the time. At some point, you have to put all this together, and you have to make it work for you, and you have to put your spin on it for how it works for you and your brand. And you have to be innovative with that. You have to be creative with that. You have to have a vision.
Wow, yeah, there's a lot to consider. That free throw good from Hayward.
It's an amazing thing to watch Gordon Hayward play the game of basketball. Every year he's made improvements, and he is a legit all-star level talent now.
Hayward hits them both.
Boy, his free throw shooting has been on the mark tonight. Nothing new there, right?
Kevin, when you entered the draft, no player had made the jump from high school to the NBA in 20 years. And what were your emotions when your name was called number 5 overall?
Oh, man, I remember that. It was
17 years old.
17, just turning 18 at the time. I was in like a whirlwind, to be honest. A lot of people don't know it's a lot of stuff that goes up into the draft. Things that I wasn't aware of. You're training twice a day. You're trying to get ready for the combine. You're trying to get ready for pre-draft. You got to do workouts. This is all new to me. On top of still going to high school, trying to, graduate and stuff. So I figured it out. I hustled and I bustled and I juggled a bunch of different things. But once your name is called, it's almost like the culmination. It all comes together. It's a special moment for just you and your family and your loved ones and ones around you. And when my name was called, it felt like the world had stopped and everything was going very slow.
That's the attacking mentality of Gordon Hayward. If he sees a lane to the basket, he will seize that opportunity.
Now we'll go to our Hall of Famer, David Aldridge. Had a chance to talk with head coach Brett Brown.
Thanks, Kevin. Look, tonight they're going to try to even the series at 2 games apiece this season. I asked him what the key would be, and he said playing mistake-free basketball. Those guys execute their offense with tremendous precision. We have to match that efficiency and avoid giving them easy looks. He's setting the bar high, Kevin. Back to you.
Thanks for the report, David. So it's about one key area, guys, keeping the opposing field goal percentage to a minimum.
And, Kevin, that's not an easy task against an opponent that can shoot the ball as well as this team can.
Well, true, Greg, but they can do it as long as they're quick with their defensive help on the perimeter. And I think a key to that, communication.
And the first one at the line is good. Kevin, we see some coaches get extremely emotional on the sideline. Others take a more even-keeled approach, more calm on the sideline. Which coaching style would you prefer to play for when you were in your prime? Would you want a coach who was animated, or did you want a coach that was just kind of settled on the sideline?
You know what? I like the coach that was settled on the sideline. I like to think that great coaches are going to be able to coach you in practice, and then during the games, you know, it's about the product and what you put out on the floor.
Yes.
You know, coaches that have understanding, coaches that have vision, coaches that understand the game, understand that it's a game of runs, know that it's a game of momentum, and have plays for those momentums and those times, or coaches that I've always gravitated to and understood that they
like Doc was kind of in between, right? A little bit of emotion, but that he could also have a calm demeanor on that side.
Doc was on fire. I'm sorry. Doc, there was nothing calming about Doc.
I'm trying to cover Doc's back here.
No, shout out to Doc. Doc will rip your head off if you wasn't supposed to. But you know what? You need to play with that edge. You needed to know that if you wasn't in your spot, 1 through 15, you understood that you were supposed to be there. And it's good to play with that. I think that you don't want to be out there playing like, you know, this is no big deal. Every play is a big deal. And no play, absolutely. And you know what? That severity, and you play with that importance, and, you know, knowing that you're playing for the next guy. So, you know, that's important.
Chandler with the ball. Now guarded by Tatum. McConnell kicks to Chandler. Embiid inside. Baines is there. And it's wide right. Hits off the rim.
Just not much success when it comes to shooting.
And Kevin, you played for some great coaches, but is there any coach you would have been interested to work with that just didn't get a chance to? Say, you know, Greg Popovich or Phil Jackson.
You know, those are great coaches. I've had very, very little time with those guys.
Maybe in all-star games and things like that.
I have. But, you know, when you do all-star games, you let yourself go. You know, you open up yourself to try to, you know, be there and be present with the guys. Yes. Open up, you know, hey, what's up? What's been up with you? How's the year for y'all? Y'all playing well. We're going to beat y'all when we see y'all, blah, blah, blah. But, you know, you're very cordial. And, you know, you're not talking too much about X's and O's. But you do share perspectives. You do share, you know, philosophies. Pop is a great mind. I had a chance to sit with him a couple times. Phil's a great mind. Phil is super deep and loves the philosophy of. I haven't had a lot of time with those guys. Doc Rivers, you know, shout to Doc. And, you know, I know he doesn't get a lot for his philosophies, but he's very enriched with philosophies and styles and bringing teams together and trying to make sure that guys stay connected, stimulated. He would always tell us, man, never get bored with the process.
Wow, that's so intriguing. Interesting to hear. Here's Rozier. He's had some playing time, but no scoring yet from him. He feeds it to Smart. To the inside. Tries to snap the cold streak, and Chandler sends it back.
And already they've staked out a noticeable advantage in terms of aggression and controlling the backboard. Well, that's why they're in front. Aggressive play at both ends. Nicely done.
McConnell with it. Kevin, you were always known as wanting to play and always wanting to practice. You were a gym rat. What did you do when a coach would ask you maybe to take a breather? Let's sit out this game. Let's rest up. Would you welcome that? Would you just say, I'll let you know when I can't go? Or how would you handle that situation?
You know what? I've always asked the coach to respect the way I get ready for games. I've always asked him to respect the way I approach the game. I've always asked the coach to respect me and my expertise of knowing my body. I'm very, very vocal. Listen, if one person needs rest and it's me, I know how to raise my hand. I know how to say I need some rest. But, you know, I'm a person who likes to push through a lot of things. I'm a person who understands rest, don't get me wrong. But at the same time, I'm a person who understands that practice makes perfect. And if I can work on something for as long as I can to make something better, because I know at the end when I need it, especially when I used to call it dial up. When I call, I need the answer.
And Kevin, welcome to the 2K team. I didn't realize how much you love NBA 2K.
Oh, man, you know 2K is always loud, man. I'm a super fan. Man, this game is going all over the place, bro. Like, seriously, like, I'm geeked to see what's next, man. They got everything down. I'm sitting here watching all the little small intangibles that come with the game. I'm watching the game grow. I'm watching how better players are getting. I'm watching the online play, man. It's lit. It's lit. I can't wait to see this.
Maybe not that time, but he'll hit more than his share if he's left open.
And slam dunk by Tatum.
And I really like how fast Tatum gets off the ground. You know, at 6'8", dunking comes easily, but he's got that forceful mind to pursue the ball.
Now here's Chandler. He's coming off a 13-point game against Toronto.
His passing definitely came into play as well, Kev. He was very unselfish, really kept the ball moving.
Redick with it, now guarded by Smart. Clock at 2, shoots it. He can't get that one. Now the Celtics take it the other way. They defeated the Pelicans in their last game.
Yeah, and some nights, you know, the starters carry the load, and then there's others when it's about the bench. That night, the bench won out.
Well, they came to play for sure, and it took the pressure off that starting unit, which is exactly what you're hoping they would do.
Here's McConnell. The shot by Chandler, wide open. Offensive rebound. Tries yet again. Johnson's shot is off.
Boy, that's exactly how you have to play defense when he's driving the lane. You cannot give him any space.
And so it's the Boston Celtics in the driver's seat, up 8 points at the end of the quarter. And they've done a phenomenal job down low, so many of their points coming right at the rim. We come back right after this. And J.J. Redick, a focal point in his tenure with the Duke Blue Devils, both offensively and as a lightning rod for fans.
I think I'll forever be associated with Duke and Duke basketball. And obviously that's a polarizing topic for some people. They like me, some people don't like me. But I take a lot of pride in the fact that I went to school there, I got to play there, and I graduated from Duke.
There's no doubt that he is Mr. Duke, J.J. Redick, and it's hard to argue with that school's incredible success, Greg, whether you like him or not. And I know you've had a first-hand view of Duke a couple times.
You know, and listen, I have the utmost respect for J.J. and Coach K and what they've done there. And listen, you could be known for a lot worse things in your life and haven't gone to a lot worse places. But I think for him, it's not about where he's been, Kevin. I think it's about where he's going and what's going to be the next chapter in his career.
All right, the second quarter beginning in just a moment. And the Celtics guys, what jumps out to you, stats-wise?
Through that first one, they've turned this thing into a track meet.
I'll tell you, they've simply been more assertive in the open floor. They're leaking out early, converting with confidence.
Rozier's out there with Smart. Then it's Marcus Morris. Then it's Aaron Baines. And it's Tatum in at the 3 slot. That's the 5 to begin the second quarter for the Celtics. And KG, talk about how the greats can just impose their will.
It's almost like another level.
Yeah.
When you see LeBron, what he did to Detroit in that fourth quarter, that's a blackout. You don't know what you're doing. When you see Cole go for 81, when you see Chauncey come down on a 1, these players are blacking out. These are elite players in elite moments, taking the moment. Paul Pierce is one of the best that I've ever seen grab a moment and savor it and just put it in slow-mo. And nothing speeding them up.
Special players.
Special players, bro. I get a front row seat of seeing that. Ray Allen, the same thing. He had a great composure about himself to slow himself down and hit pressure shots. Tim Duncan, same thing.
Kevin, over the years, we've seen a number of super teams develop, and in the Warriors' case, it's not the big 3, it's the big 4. Is this a trend you see continuing? You did it in Boston.
Man, look.
You were the original big 3.
It seems like it, eh?
You know,
right.
You were the original big 3.
You know what? It's like an innovative type of thing, right? I didn't even know that we were doing that. Right, because LeBron come back and do what? LeBron goes to
Miami. He's
Miami
the big 3 right down there. Yeah.
And then what? Then it just starts morphing into these different things, right?
KD to Golden State.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What do you think of that?
I think this is pretty much the norm. You know what? Listen, I think KD took a lot of heat for it, but when you really think about what he's doing, is that, I say 20 years from now, when he sits back, he wants to talk to Steph, he wants to talk to Draymond, he's talking to Clay. These are all going to be 3 greats with him. I'm just talking about those 3 guys. He's playing with 3 other greats. I'm sorry. If you had a chance to play with 3 other greats in the prime, Kev, you're going to do that. And if you don't, then something's wrong with you.
And we've got an update here, so let's check in with David Aldridge reporting from the sideline.
Kevin, Celtics coach Brad Stevens is known for getting the best out of his players. He said every NBA player has an elite strength. Some of them have 10 of them, and those guys are the very best in the league, right? But every one of them is here for a reason, and there are times where you can really soar with that skill. Kevin?
And that's why Stevens is already one of the best coaches in the league, David. You've talked about him for a long time, getting maximum results from every one of his players. And some changes here for the Celtics. Greg Monroe, he's checked in for Aaron Baines. Horford comes in for Morris, and it's Brown in for Tatum. Then for the 76ers, Sharch checked in for Mike Muscala. Robert Covington comes in for Wilson Chandler. And it's Ben Simmons in for J.J. Redick. The shot by Hayward, wide open, good, and the assist goes to Irving. And that's now 9 points for Gordon Hayward. And Kevin, you look at the star players joining up today. At the end of the day, it's about winning.
The game is about winning. More importantly, it's about these bonds that you're able to establish. Those guys are going to be brothers forever. Now, I get the whole OKC, him leaving, right? But this is morphing into something else, and I think that this is going to be part of the norm.
Championships.
It is, man, and that's what you're in this for. You go to build these things. I don't know if I would have done it like that, but I understand it. I get it. He's playing with the other greats that's making the game more efficient for him, and it's working. But, yes, I see this being the norm in the league.
Here's Simmons.
Oh, wow.
That's crazy.
That's a beautiful jam.
Yeah, whenever Simmons gets a chance to show off his insane jumping skills, he seizes it.
Hayward outside. Screen by Monroe. Hayward can hit.
And typically he has the touch to finish when he's in tight, but not sure on that possession.
Joel Embiid. He's checked in for Amir Johnson. The 76ers trail by 13. And people may not know, KG, that you're not just a broadcaster for 2K, but you're a member of the 2K community.
Have you been keeping up with the community, man?
Oh, yeah, very much so.
Man, listen, shout out to all the 2K players out there. I'm Jizzle Lord. Y'all know what it is. I'm Jizzle Lord 5. Shout out to my OBF team. Y'all know what it is. Shout out to Dex. Shout out to Bug. Shout out to everybody out there playing.
Wow.
Right. We definitely.
Wow.
It's all good. You know, I'm OBF. I'm about the team. I'm gang. You know what it is. Jizzle Lord. Y'all holler at me. Y'all know what it is, 2K. Right.
Now Covington. After Jaylen Brown's three-pointer that didn't go. Covington with it. Now defended by Hayward. Embiid against Monroe. Here's Simmons. That's short off the rim. Celtics leading by 13. Here's Brown. Boston, no good that time either. Kevin, especially back in Minnesota, you have some Hall of Fame battles with a guy named Tim Duncan. Talk about what those games, what those matchups were like.
Timmy, man. Timmy's very crafty, man. Our battles used to be just, especially as young guys, man. Young guys trying to establish themselves in a gritty league at the time, full of some older, dominant names at the time. Michael Jordan, Elijah Malone. You know, the time where the forward position was a very, very tough position. But Timmy was one of them ones, man. Used angles very well, was very long, had a lot of counters, very strong, and had an inner beast that people really didn't really talk about because you didn't really necessarily hear or see it. But man, Timmy's one of the best, man. It's not by coincidence. He's one of the ones.
And his guys are getting frustrated. Coach just really kind of needs to calm them down.
I think, Greg, they've got to continue to believe that the next shot is going to go in. He can hopefully communicate that effectively to them.
Kevin, when you played, we all know how intense you were, how much you cared. That, to me, was the thing that you cared so much about the product, about your team, about the game. But some people have said that maybe there was a streak of you that was mean is maybe not the right word, but you were overly aggressive. But I don't know how you could have played any differently than that.
I call it dialed in.
What?
You know, I like to think that if you're trying to accomplish something, then, you know, I only know one way to accomplish something.
You
go at it with everything you have.
Yes.
You go to dominate it and take it over. You don't go at something lightly.
Can't walk through the park with this game,
not at all. Not at all. And this game is full of talented elites. Night in, night out, you're playing someone that can typically go for 50 easy.
So true. The Celtics have been good at the line so far, 5 of 5.
One shot.
Free throw drops for Hayward. Well, the fans out there watching this, Kev, can you talk about why it's so incredibly difficult to win an NBA title, to become a champion? Why is it such a tough process?
Well, just imagine having a goal and you're not pursuing the goal by yourself. You know, just say you and somebody else.
Relying on somebody else.
Relying on somebody else, okay? So let's just say you and someone are doing something, walking up a hill. Y'all getting ready to go walk up a hill. Well, the speed in which you want to walk at might be different from the other person. And what you realize about when you're trying to reach any goal is that you have to be connected. You have to be understanding of, we're going to walk up it together like at this speed, like this, or we're going fast, we're going slow. It has to be a great level of communication and understanding. At the same time, you have to have the same work ethic, because you have to understand you're together. And you don't get to go at this level and leave someone behind. You have to actually, if you got to pull them, you got to keep up, whatever it is. All this goes into trying to win.
It sure does. It's right. Regular season grind, 82 games in the regular season. In your opinion, is that the right amount of games for teams to play, or would you like to see the schedule shortened where there's more practice in between, more days of rest, more days to recuperate?
Man, look.
You got a big smile on your face.
For the old school, Kev, you know, 82 games is how you got to come through it. This is, listen.
It's a war, isn't it?
It is. And you know what? This is the tradition of it, man. This is what it is, bro. If you don't want to go through this and go through this hall and this road of this journey, then cool. Go to another league. They got shorter games. They got other awards that you can, you know. This is the NBA. This is what it is. This is the grind of it. And ones that have come before you have done it, just like the ones that's after you is going to do it. This is what it is, bro.
Kevin, of all the people you've faced, who is the toughest guy for you to score against down low? Let's pick that geography. Who is the toughest to score against down there?
Listen, I know a lot of people. I've always said Rasheed Wallace. I've always said Tim Duncan. They're probably the two that brought a different level of play out of me, but shout out to Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson, I don't know if people know this, but Cliff Robinson, man. Cliff Robinson was one of the better defenders in the post. He was very strong. He was very long. He didn't go for any counters. He was very disciplined. He was well prepared because he was a veteran. The refs let him get away with a lot, touching and grabbing. He knew when to be physical in some positions. He knew to do what we call work early. He would meet you at the three-point line, and he would be fighting you, and you would post up probably like a step outside the three-point line. Like, he was really good at some of his techniques and how he was able to control the post. After Cliff left the game, I watched a lot of his tape, and I took a lot of his
no kidding.
I had to, because it was so effective against me that I was able to use it against other post players on the defensive end.
I never knew that story.
Dennis Rodman was another guy I watched a lot. Akeem Olajuwon I watched a lot, because these guys were laterally very similar to my makeup. Akeem Olajuwon was long. He was able to laterally move with you. I was laterally able to move with guards and able to laterally to slide with some of the forwards and some of the more laterally gifted power forwards. And with that, able to get my feet together, being able to block shots, challenge the rim, stuff like that. Things that, if you're going to get better at something, you got to go and reach and find the great ones that did it before you and take it, and then I was able to apply it, and I did those things.
And a new group in for the Celtics. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Monroe. Marcus Morris comes in for Al Horford. Smart's checked in for Jaylen Brown. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Irving. And then for Philadelphia, Wilson Chandler's checked in for Saric. Redick comes in for Fultz. And it's T.J. McConnell in for Simmons. Kevin, one of the biggest moments of your career, the 2008 championship with the Boston Celtics. Talk about the camaraderie among that group of players.
You know, Kev, I could tell right away that we had something special getting together right in September, right before the year started. We started working out together. We started sharing concepts and how we saw the game. Right away, I can tell that the appetite was there. 1 through 15 guys. It's very rare that you're able to get that many guys in that early. As soon as Danny, signed guys, we were in, we were lifting, we was just, around each other, understanding each other, playing a lot. We was playing a lot. Then, fortunately, we was able to go off to Rome that year. Rome was a good distraction for us because we had to lean on one another.
To bond a little bit.
Seriously, because, none of us spoke Italian. If we wanted to go somewhere, we was always 3-4 deep, and no one was asking and no one was telling us to be with each other. We were just naturally being with each other so much that whenever you saw us to the restaurants, 9, 10 of us, That carried over to practice. Then we got two teams that are very competitive. Doc's letting us be who we want to be, and he's letting us play with passion, and our practices are over the top, aggressive, and to the point where it's too competitive to where he has to come in and separates us and, you know, take the balls and cut the lights out and get us out of here.
Yeah.
To the point where he just lets us go. Now we start bringing concepts to him. He started trusting our IQs. Now we start putting a couple of things on defense, Thibodeau's in there. He's implementing stuff. When this flow is going like this, you don't know that you're going to win it all, but you know you're on the waves of something special. Right. And that's how that felt.
Kevin, it's been said that some guys hated to play against you. Is there someone you hated to play against for whatever reason?
No.
You enjoyed every challenge?
I enjoyed every competitor because on the offensive side of the ball, I was always challenged when to use counters or what type of moves I was using. I took a lot of pride in having a variety of moves for different types of defenses. And each guy is going to bring out a different side of the offense in you. And then turning around and then being that defender and being able to guard the post player or the post or whatever the post player was or whatever. Rasheed Wallace was always a tough guard. Tim Duncan was always a tough guard. Zach Randolph was always a tough guard. Chris Webber, Dice, Karl Malone.
Great names. Here's Rozier after J.J. Redick's bucket. Got freed up. Nice work off the pick. Hayward's got 13 points now in the quarter.
The fast release makes Gordon Hayward such a difficult check. If the defense is giving him any space, forget about it.
Muscala, the pass to Embiid. Here's Smart, and slam dunk by Smart.
And guys got careless with the ball there, and the turnover leads to the big stuff.
Once he came up right with the steal, he went straight on the attack.
Fantastic anticipation. Then he shows major explosiveness converting at the other end.
Chandler, no good. And KG, I have to say, a pleasure to have you with us here tonight, providing your great insight and intellect into these broadcasts. Thanks so much for being with us on the show, and I hope you come by again.
Man, K-Hall, anytime you need me, man, you let me know, man. I'm yours, man. You know what it is.
The great, the champion, Kevin Garnett. And Doris, one of the things that really strikes me about KG, he's as smart as he is athletically gifted. What a treat to have him join us tonight.
Well, I'm in awe of his enthusiasm, and it's not just when he's talking, but when others are talking as well. There's so much life to the conversation. Everything he brought to the court for 21 years, he now brings to the booth.
Now, here's Chandler. He averages more than 12 points a game. That's some dependable production. And there's the call on Joel Embiid. That's his third foul of the game.
Good job working the in-between area.
Yeah, I think if the defense is going to give that to him, he's got to take the opportunity. He uses his size and high release point on the jumper.
The Celtics making a switch here. Tatum's checked in. The 76ers also with a sub. Johnson, he's checked in for Embiid. Baines dishes to Tatum and taken away by Johnson. 3 seconds separate the shot clock and game clock. And Redick kicks to Chandler. Johnson the screen. Pass to McConnell for three. Now in the scoring column with that deuce. 1 for 2 this game.
Timely passing leads to assists, and that's been the recipe for success.
To the right side. Here's Tatum, and he gets the bucket. Tatum's got 9 points.
And Tatum already showing some efficiency from beyond. Fantastic at getting the position he wants for the shot.
So it's Gordon Hayward making things happen for Boston. He put together quite a quarter, 13 points in all. And he looks to be planning for more. It's time now to go courtside as we send you over to David Aldridge from the sideline. David, take it away.
Thanks a lot. Kyrie, what were you all focusing on coming into the game tonight?
Come out with a intense focus and intensity that other teams can't match. Just doing whatever it takes to keep our tempo. Guys are in a great rhythm when we have a great tempo. So just trying to get everybody involved and do whatever it takes to win.
Well, we'll see if you can keep playing at your pace in the second half. Thanks a lot. Back to you, Kevin.
Thanks, David. And we'll be back shortly following halftime to get the third quarter underway.
And now, the 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Hey again, everybody. So far, a pretty lopsided game, but still 1 half to play. I'm Ernie Johnson, joined by Shaquille O'Neal and Kenny the Jet Smith. Gordon Hayward has been all over the floor tonight. He ended up with 19 points, 2 assists, and 4 steals. Kenny, what's your take on Boston so far?
I was really impressed by the versatility of Gordon Hayward. He's made himself a dangerous three-point shooter. He can drive, he can post up, he finishes in transition, all within the flow of the offense. And if you do find a way to slow him down, he's just as comfortable setting up his teammates.
Shaq, what'd you think about Philadelphia?
Way too soft in the paint defensively. They were all late on their rotations. Obviously, that's a recipe for getting cooked. And you know I like eating that barbecue chicken. They got to do better, Ernie.
And that's all we can do for now. As the second half begins, we get you back to Kevin Harlan.
Welcome back, everyone. There's State Station. That's where you get off the tee if you're going to go visit the old State House here in Boston. And as we begin the second half, first half wasn't even close, guys, and we'll see if there is a comeback on our hands or more of the same as we get the third quarter started. Really an incredible game from Gordon Hayward.
And how disruptive was he in that first half? I mean, creating havoc, causing turnovers, and really energizing his team.
Well, didn't you get the sense, Greg, that this entire team fed off his energy? His remarkable effort on the defensive end really triggered this group.
Well, it's been a one-sided affair so far through the first two quarters, but there's plenty of time to mount a comeback. Doris, some players, no matter how hard they try, can't make free throws in games. You spent a lot of your playing time at the line, playing guard for Providence. Why do you think this mental block is there for some players?
It's amazing the power of the mind relative to sports performance, right, Kevin?
Yes.
Because I do believe very often this can be much more about the mental than the physical side of it. Think back to Shaquille O'Neal, Dwight Howard, guys who are physically massive, and they say the size of their hand impacts their ability to shoot it. But to me, there is no question about it that sometimes it's just you're afraid. It's like the yips in golf. You just can't figure it out. And it becomes a scary place to be, standing alone on the free throw line.
Good comparison. Kicking off the second half, here's Brett Brown's five. We've got Robert Covington. Saric is out there with Joel Embiid. And there's Fultz. And it's Simmons in at the point guard. And the first one drops.
Boy, oh boy, has Gordon Hayward turned himself into a complete offensive player? His offense has grown every single year. There's no question you want the ball in this guy's hands.
Hayward hits them both. And Hayward has packed on the muscle. Doris, you've seen it. He's a dangerous finisher inside.
You're right, Kev. Crafty, explosive, and he's got tremendous touch. This guy can make something out of nothing.
Now here's Saric. No scoring yet from him, but that's likely to change. 5 on the clock. Here's Fultz. And the rejection by Monroe.
Well, an 0 for 3 start to the second half. They're going to have to start tightening things up on the offensive end.
Now here's Irving. Monroe in the corner. Hayward kicks to Horford. Off target with his three. The 76ers trail by 19. Outside, Simmons. Embiid the screen. No one near Fultz as he lets it go. But he gets it back. To the middle, goes back up, and Embiid the bucket on the assist from Fultz. And it's 13 points for Joel Embiid.
After an ugly 0 for 4 to start the half, they get one to fall.
Irving against Simmons. Screen by Monroe. Hayward goes in, and Hayward at the stuff.
Yeah, that's what you want from Irving. He's a point guard who is always looking to distribute the rock.
And here's Fultz. Embiid the screen. Saric outside. The feed now to Simmons. Gets that one to fall. That's his 6th field goal. He has shot the ball 12 times.
Really like watching Simmons go to work down low with his length and strength. There aren't many guys that can keep up with him.
Horford kicks to Hayward. Covington with the steal. And they're on the break. That one goes in. Covington's got his 2nd basket of the game.
Boy, I'll tell you, it takes a lot of confidence to go with the floater. That is not as easy as it looks.
And the replay is courtesy of Under Armour. Unleash chaos. It was a great sequence from the steal all the way to the finish at the other end. Celtics leading by 15. Horford sets a screen for Irving. Screen by Monroe. It's stolen by Fultz. The finish. And slam dunk by Saric.
Yeah, his instincts are on display here. Fultz, a really good passer, excels at setting up teammates for easy looks.
Now Irving, 5 points in the game. Brown kicks to Monroe. Picked by Horford. And fouled on the shot, so the bucket counts and a chance for one more here.
Guys, Kyrie Irving, stronger than he looks, absorbs the contact and still converts. Boy, you think about the virtuoso ball handlers in NBA history, Kyrie Irving has got to rank at the top of that list. You know, his ability to dissect defenders, get into the lane, that is the foundation of his offensive game.
One shot.
That's good from Irving. And the fans get their money's worth watching Irving. My goodness, Doris, he puts on a show.
Oh, he certainly does. He's got every move in the book. A devastating crossover, a little in and out dribble, the hesitation, the spin, the ability to stop on a dime and hit the pull-up. You don't ever know as a defender which way to go.
Timeout called, the 76ers. Outplayed in the previous game on their schedule, losing to the Raptors.
Yeah, that was more than just a tough loss. That was a complete embarrassment.
Look, Greg, they simply didn't bring it, and that's one of those losses that you just have to throw away and forget about.
Now here's Simmons. He's got 12. Here's Saric. No good from outside. Boston leading by 16. Hayward kicks to Horford. Second chance shot. And sticking right with it, gets the foul with the bucket, and he'll go to the line.
Now, how about the strength of Horford? It allows him to finish the play, and he'll get one more.
And Al Horford, just so versatile. You know, that extends to the defensive end as well. Very mobile, can move his feet with smaller players, and at the same time gives you a presence on the interior.
One shot.
The free throw off from Horford. And Horford won't wow you with his athleticism, but Greg, he's still a pretty good shot blocker.
He has great timing, anticipation, and awareness. Don't forget also he's got terrific hands, and you see that with all the steals he racks up.
The Celtics have gone 3 of 5 to start the second half, developing a nice rhythm out there. Irving passes to Monroe. Good, and the assist goes to Irving. Irving's got his 8th assist in the game.
And Irving really showing great strides in improving his passing, wanting to be a more effective floor general.
Now here's Simmons. He's got 12. Fultz, and the bucket counts. 3-point chance here.
I tell you, coaches love those high percentage looks in the paint.
And the one thing that you gotta love about Markelle Fultz is his versatility. I mean, he's got the size, the passing and scoring ability to succeed at either guard position. He's almost Westbrookish.
Mind the lanes. Mind the lanes. One shot.
And the free throw, no good. And you ask the scouts about Fultz, he has the complete game.
You know, Kevin, he checks all the boxes. Athleticism, the size to play above the rim. And above all, I think the feel for the game is quite apparent when you watch him play.
Now here is Horford. 7 points in the game.
And he's clearly been the best rebounder on the floor today.
Well, he just works so diligently inside, and the numbers back that up.
And Fultz gets it to go.
And how about the confidence level with which Fultz plays? When he's close to the basket, he keeps his eyes focused on the rim at all times.
Here's Irving. 8 points for him. Picked by Horford. And Robert Covington picks up the foul. That's his 3rd foul of the game.
And now only 1 away from being in the penalty.
Brown outside. They set the screen. And a wide open look for Irving. The shot's good. Brown making the play. And that's now 11 points for Kyrie Irving. Simmons against Irving. And Simmons kicks to Fultz. Oh, the lob for Simmons. And it's out of bounds. The Celtics will take it the other way. And here we can now take a look at how the ratio was between the 3s and the 2s last season for the 76ers.
And the three-point shot was a huge part of their game plan. When it was falling, it made them very hard to defend. Opponents were stretched out all over the place.
Now here's Monroe. Looking at his point production, he averages almost 11 points a game. Out to Hayward. 6 on the shot clock. Here's Horford, and a dunk by Horford.
Well, this is what you hope for from your franchise guy. Total unselfishness. Gordon Hayward with a pretty look.
And so here is Philadelphia. Their last encounter was in Philadelphia.
Yeah, their last game against this squad, they won out thanks to some big contributions from the bench.
Yeah, that second unit was fantastic in the last meeting. They infused a ton of energy and, somewhat surprisingly, a lot of points production.
Brown kicks to Irving. Brown outside. Rebound by the 76ers.
As long as they can hang on to this lead, he won't have to answer for what's been an off night for him.
And the shot goes in from Fultz.
He's been heating it up since the break, getting some excellent looks right now.
Now, here is Irving. He's got 11. Hayward outside. Screened by Monroe. To the inside. It's stolen by Sharch. And now here comes Simmons leading the break. Here's Fultz. He's got 11. Feeds to Covington. Sharch in the corner. Shot clock at 6. Off the mark there with the three-point shot. Out of bounds. It'll be 76ers ball.
And here's a look at the stats for Simmons. The last 10 games, he has been on a heck of a run. He's getting around 16 points a game, 6 assists, and 6 rebounds. He has been terrific throughout, putting up some huge numbers offensively.
Well, and this is exactly who he is, a flat-out scoring machine. You plug him in and let him go to work.
Tatum, he's checked in for Boston. Amir Johnson's checked in for Philadelphia. The 76ers trail by 18. And there's the foul. It's on Jaylen Brown. That is his first foul of the game. And a new group in for the Celtics. Aaron Baines, he's checked in for Monroe. Marcus Morris comes in for Al Horford. Marcus Smart's checked in for Jaylen Brown. And Terry Rozier subbed in for Irving. And the 76ers will go for a different look here. Muscala, he's checked in for Sharch. Chandler comes in for Robert Covington. J.J. Redick's checked in for Fultz. And it's T.J. McConnell in for Ben Simmons. Tries again. Muscala gets the bucket. Muscala's got 7 points.
Oh, easy putback. No one got a body on it.
Boy, I'll tell you, Greg, that's just inexcusable. All they had to do was box him out. You learn a lesson the hard way in that instance.
Tatum dishes to Baines. And it's Philadelphia with the rebound. Johnson's got 3 rebounds now in this one.
And really few teams in NBA history have undertaken the sort of extreme makeover the Sixers did over the last 4 years, and a lot of losing along the way, but the fans have been surprisingly supportive of the rebuilding process.
Celtics leading by 14. Smart with the ball. He's got 6. They set the pick. Here's Tatum. And just miss after miss right now.
Affecting the shot in a big way there. Excellent defense.
Well, you talk about getting into the space of the shooter. This is how you defend the paint.
The Celtics have gotten 6 of their 12 shots to drop for him here in the second half so far. Morris with the bucket.
And I like the different looks that Morris can give you. Inside, outside, and in transition.
The 76ers trail by 16. Chandler outside. Johnson sends the screen for Chandler. 76ers moving the ball around. The pass to McConnell. And it's off from three-point range. The Celtics have gone 7 of 13 in the third quarter so far, just above 50%. Philadelphia shooting around 41% on the night. For the 3, buries it from three-point range. He has 6.
Oh, great ball movement there.
Celtics leading by 13. Here's Rozier. He's averaging a bit over 5 points a game. Morris a screen. Tatum kicks to Baines. Clock at 6. Here's Rozier. He's covered by McConnell. And it's Rozier missing.
Well, he gets the separation he needs. You can't say the same for his aim, though.
Pass to Johnson. Left side, Redick. Dishes to Muscala. And Rozier pulls it down.
Boy, with that much space around him, maybe he's better off attacking the basket than settling for the jumper.
Johnson with the block.
Wow, how about Johnson using his length, an absolute pest on the defensive end.
And Muscala kicks to Redick. Good on the triple. Redick's got 5 now.
And all those second chance points have given them a boost here in the second half, and that's a great way to cut into the lead.
Out to Morris. Lots of room. Off the left rim and out.
Now, great look on that. Just a little out of rhythm.
Yeah, he looked like he forced that a little bit. Just needs to take his time. Got to make these shots right now.
The lead now in single digits. 7 points for Wilson Chandler.
Well, he works to find the open space behind the arc, and it pays off with the 3. Nice.
Morris inside. He's guarded by Chandler. Plays it up and banks it in.
I mean, he makes plays like that in his sleep. The game is just far too easy.
And Redick kicks to Chandler. Now, here is Muscala. T right on him. He gets it in there. 32 seconds left in the third quarter. Morris a screen. Here's Smart. An easy layup after coming off the pick. He's got 8.
Well, you know Marcus Smart understands how to use his body inside, and I just love how he goes right up with the shot.
Now, here's McConnell. He's got 6. They set the pick. Jumper off the screen, and good, and it takes a nice bounce off the right iron and down.
Shakes his man by using exceptional use of the screen. I mean, from there, it's smooth sailing.
Here's Rozier. Takes a 3. What a play! Simply drains it in at the buzzer.
And they get it to double digits just as we get set for the final quarter here. That 3 could be a killer.
And so it's Boston with a 10-point lead, some breathing room heading into the break. And they're winning the turnover battle very easily in this one. We'll take a quick break and then back to the action here. Hello and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play getting started. And Boston has possession. They'll be hosting Orlando for the next one. That game will conclude a 3-game homestand. We've got Aaron Baines. Marcus Morris is out there with Tatum. Then there's Smart, and it's Rozier in at the point. That's the Boston 5. Now, here's McConnell. Passes to Chandler. Fires the 3. Again, the miss by Chandler. Celtics leading by 10. Here's Rozier. The dish now to Smart. They set the screen. Here's Tatum. That's another one for him. His 5th in just 7 shots.
Well, we've seen that movie a few times, haven't we? An easy bucket in the paint.
Outside, Redick. Kicks it to Muscala. No one near him. And Boston with the rebound. A few possessions into the fourth quarter, just over a minute played. Tatum's shot is off. The 76ers trail by 12. Here's Chandler. Here's Johnson. And a foul called on the shot. Got him on the way up that time, so he'll shoot 2 right here.
We know this. Amir Johnson is going to go hard on the interior. He gets the contact pretty effortlessly there.
Now, gentlemen, 2 shots. 2 shots.
He misses the free throw. Yours, who are some of the guys that surprise you with their toughness on a nightly basis in the NBA?
You know, you have to think historically, pound for pound in the history of the NBA, the toughest single guy was Allen Iverson. For me, the current iteration, and I'm not saying that Isaiah Thomas is Allen Iverson, they're drastically different players because Isaiah doesn't have that kind of athleticism that AI had early. But Isaiah at 5'9", to continually find his way into the paint, to be willing to attack the bigs, to absorb the kind of pounding he does, and get himself into the MVP conversation, Kevin, really, that was incredible.
LeBron probably takes, for a guy his size, you think he can dish it out, but I'm telling you, I think he gets whacked all the time.
I think, Kevin, this is the single hardest guy in the NBA to officiate today, and frankly, I do not believe LeBron James goes to the foul line as much as he deserves.
Well said. That one goes. Count it. Simmons got it back down to within single digits for Philadelphia. Last quarter of play, about 2 minutes in now. A nice shot by Irving.
And they're forcing the ball inside, and it's working like a charm.
Here's Simmons. He dishes it to Redick. Johnson sends the screen for Redick. That's tipped.
I'll tell you, don't forget about Marcus Smart's vertical. Twice on the pipes, rejects that shot.
Irving misses. The 76ers trail by 11. Takes the 13-footer. Redick with the bucket. And over 2.5 minutes in the books here in the fourth. And here is Tatum. Irving with it. Now guarded by Simmons. No good from Irving. And the wide open shot from Redick. Offline with his 3.
And you don't want to give up that kind of look too often.
Chandler against Horford. On the wing, Irving. And stolen by Simmons. Here's the break. That's a basket. His 8th from the field, 8 of 14.
In the mid-range, rarely the hallmark of efficiency in today's NBA, but it is on point tonight.
Now here's Horford. Picked by Horford. Tatum wide open. He fires one. Again, the miss by the Celtics.
He's cold from deep. 0 threes in the second half after hitting just 1 in the first.
Covington wide open. He fires. The basket good off the assist from Simmons. Simmons got his 4th assist with that last one here tonight. Irving passes to Horford. Back to Irving. He kicks to Smart. Again, the miss by the Celtics. The 76ers trail by 4. Outside, Redick. He feeds it to Chandler. Johnson the screen. From the baseline. Battles through traffic and lays it in.
Amir Johnson, an intense player, someone who hits the glass with absolute ferocity.
Now a timeout called by Boston.
Well, he's listed at 6'9", but to me, Amir Johnson plays a lot bigger. You know, he's a good shot blocker, and if you look at the advanced metrics, he's one of the most disruptive forces at the rim in the NBA.
Boston making some changes. Hayward comes in for Tatum, and it's Brown in for Marcus Smart. Then for the 76ers, Joel Embiid. He's checked in for Johnson. Saric comes in for Wilson Chandler, and it's Fulton for J.J. Redick. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Hey, guys. Well, I was able to listen in on what Brad Stevens was talking about with his players. This is still a close game, and he told us, guys, we're not far away. We can still get this one. If we seize the moment, we can walk away with the win, guys.
And Amir Johnson able to defend 4s and 5s. Doris, what do you think he's better?
Well, I think the most important thing, Kev, is that you love that versatility. Because he can move his feet on the perimeter and he's a presence at the rim, that's huge value in the NBA today because of the way bigs are now stretching the floor.
Not quite enough defense. That time around, just lucky he was off.
Here's Philadelphia. They've got a 12-2 run in progress. Fultz dishes to Saric. Pass to Fultz. The feed to Covington. Embiid with a screen on Hayward. 6 to shoot. Covington kicks to Embiid. That ties it up.
I wonder what the score would be if they weren't controlling the backboard.
Outside Irving. Brown right side. Lands soft on the front of the rim and drops. And the Celtics lead by 2.
Well, to me, that's excellent timing from Jaylen Brown. He shoots with confidence, knowing his teammates trust him.
And Simmons kicks to Covington. Screen by Saric. Feeds to Embiid to take the lead. And it's Saric. That time on the assist by Embiid.
How many times have we seen a possession like that from them today, ending with a basket coming off a pretty pass?
Irving kicks to Hayward. It's rebounded by Fultz. Philadelphia's gotten off 4 3-pointers in the final quarter, and 2 of them have fallen. Here's Simmons. Horford with the rebound. Horford's got his 6th rebound on the night. And Ben Simmons picks up the foul. That will get him his 4th foul of the game.
Oh, picked up his 4th foul. Maybe have to scale back his aggressiveness with plenty of time left in this one.
Here's Irving. Left side, Brown. Monroe outside. It's over Embiid, and it's Philadelphia with the rebound.
And he's just a tough defender. Good positioning to get after that shot.
Right, perfect contest in that instance, Greg, making it really hard on the shooter to have any kind of space at all.
Some tough offensive sets. They want to turn it around.
Yeah, right now you just need a bucket to get some momentum.
Here's Irving, and the rejection by Embiid, and he gets it back. Hayward from outside. The shot's good on the assist by Horford. Hayward's got the game tied up here for the Celtics. Here's Philadelphia. They're on a 19-7 run. Embiid the screen. Here's Fultz. Fails to score here. He has made 5 of 12 to this point. Hayward passes to Horford. Out to Hayward. On the pass to Monroe. And it goes out of bounds. Last touch by Embiid. Here's Brown. Second chance shot, and he lays it up and in. Brown's got 4 points in the quarter.
Well, Jaylen Brown making it look easy right now. How about the strength in the post? It was like the defense wasn't even there, Kevin.
And the officials will call the illegal screen right there.
And that's a tough one, but on those illegal screen calls, the defender's never going to get the benefit of the doubt.
And that's true. The officials used to be pretty lenient on those, but not anymore.
Now, here is Irving. He scores his 6th bucket from the floor with that one. He's shot the ball 11 times.
His shooting has been outstanding here. Definitely one of the reasons they're up in this game.
Fultz kicks to Covington. Another miss by Philadelphia.
I think they could have gotten a better look right there. And he just a little over anxious, I think, to get that shot off.
Hayward. Irving from long range. And Joel Embiid pulls it down. Embiid's got 13 rebounds in the game. Class eating. Now here's Fultz. Now Covington. Shot clock at 5. Pass to Sharch. Over Monroe. The shot by Sharch, no good.
Well, the defense harassing him every step of the way makes that a really tough look.
And there had been a will he or won't he feeling with Gordon Hayward's free agency. Tough choice, I got to believe, for him to leave Utah, but you can see why he wanted to join forces here with the Celtics.
First free throw is good. And Boston was the heavy favorite to sign Gordon Hayward, and ultimately the opportunity was just too hard to pass up.
And he's reunited with his college coach, Brad Stevens. This team has a great path to make a deep playoff run, and this just adds another star to a very balanced roster.
No good on the second free throw.
Well, it wasn't a perfect trip to the line, but it was good enough to stretch their lead to 2 possessions.
And it's blocked by Brown. To the paint, Embiid with the steal. Up top, Covington, ended by Hayward. The 76ers get it back at a new 24. And here comes Hayward, leading the fast break. And Hayward with the stuff.
Well, how about Gordon Hayward poking that one away and getting his teammate an easy opportunity?
Here's Fultz. Dishes to Sharch. Here's Embiid. Embiid controls the rebound and puts it back up and in.
And folks, he did not luck into that one. He knew just where he wanted to be to grab that backboard.
Back to Irving. The Celtics working the ball around now. Horford dishes to Irving. Passes it to Monroe. Shot clock at 6. From deep three-point range, Sharch grabs the board. Sharch has got rebound number 7 for him tonight. And it's sent back by Horford.
How about the timing by Al Horford? Twice on the pipes, sends it back.
The free throw drops for Embiid.
Boy, what a steady presence at the line. Whether it's a blowout or a tight game like this one, his stroke never varies.
Irving passes to Horford on the wing. Brown. Back to Horford. Shot off the pick. The shot's good. Brown making the play. And that's 11 points for Horford.
This guy is always poised, always ready to deliver. Doesn't matter how tense the game is.
Here's Embiid. And that one is good. Embiid's got 11 in the second half.
Yeah, that's careless defense, though. I mean, he's one player you can ill afford to let run free. He just loves to be a money player in the fourth quarter.
Now here's Monroe. Screen by Monroe. Hayward is doubled. Wants to get it to Brown and does. It's stolen by Fultz. And now Philadelphia on the break. Fultz with the ball. And here's Covington from the arc. The Celtics shooting the pedestrian 36% in the fourth quarter. The offense not doing their best work of late.
Fearless, decisive, on point.
Which is exactly what you have to be, especially when your team needs a bucket.
And Philadelphia calls time here. They're down by 4. There's 45 seconds left in the fourth quarter of this one. And now let's present our Jordan Player of the Game, Gordon Hayward.
And it's been a ridiculous performance in the best sense possible. I mean, everything about his game has been working. And no matter what they've thrown at him, he's had the answer.
There's 45 seconds left in the game. Another shot. And 2 free throws coming up. Unable to get that one to go with all the contact. So the first one drops, and that narrows the lead down to just 3. And Embiid drops them both.
And now down to a one-possession game. Those foul shots, huge.
They'll be trying to take as much time off the clock as they can.
Exactly. Expect to see longer possessions from this point on.
Now here's Hayward. On the wing, Brown. Over Fultz. Connects.
And you can see the defense now getting a little nervous, almost on their heels. I think they're starting to feel it.
And the 76ers call time here. They trail by 4. We've got 22 seconds left in the fourth quarter. Guys, what's your take?
It's going to be interesting to see what they draw up to get this quick shot.
Yeah, the clock is definitely not their friend, and they need to score fast.
And Saric kicks to Embiid. Over Horford. It's good! And he has brought them to within 2 points. Boy, that was a big shot.
And stunned silence, guys. That's the atmosphere in here after that shot. Yeah, you have to do that, though. You can't just let him dribble the game out.
And Ben Simmons picks up the foul. And so he's picked up his final foul. And he will sit for the rest of this game. First free throw is good, and that makes it a 3-point lead.
Now, Irving is so versatile as a scorer. Outstanding free throw shooter, too.
So he gets them both, and it's a 4-point ball game.
He knew what was riding on those foul shots and didn't mess around, making this a 2-possession game.
Fultz dishes to Embiid. On the wing, Jackson. It falls! And that shot brings them to within just one. And they foul intentionally. That's what they have to do at this point.
No choice but to foul there, but he's probably the last guy you want to see on the line.
He drops the first one, and that will put them up by 2. And he hits both free throws here. So now it's a 3-point game.
That last free throw was a huge, huge shot. The difference between a 2- and a 3-point lead at this stage is major.
And so it's Boston scraping by with the win. That was a fun night of basketball and fabulous finish as they continued to wait out until the very last moment to seal.
And there are so many times when you see these tight games won at home, that advantage of having that crowd behind you oftentimes is the ultimate X factor.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thanks, Kevin. Gordon, very nice win for you guys tonight.
You know, just proud of the way we fought. I thought we shared the basketball pretty well tonight. Played pretty solid defense as well. Got the win. So.
Great effort tonight, Gordon. Thanks very much. Back to you, Kevin.
Thank you, David. Great interview once again. And that'll do it, folks. For Greg Anthony, Doris Burke, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan saying thanks for tuning in. So long, everyone.